big amount. It's still a big amount today. But we were in a business, and I invested in electric sewing machines to expand our company of products of retail. And at 1990, during the time of the Aquino administration, there were all these brownouts all over Metro Manila. Brownouts every day, unscheduled brownouts, sometimes for the whole day. And people had to sacrifice. So our factory was brown out. And all the sewers were there waiting. They could not run the machines because it's electric. So they're waiting for the power to go on. When the power goes on, they start working. And then they sleep. And then it was there. It really hurt our business. We closed our business in 1990 because of all these power failures. And I had to pay back the banks for all the sewing machines. I had to pay all my suppliers for all the tela, all the supplies that we got from Divisoria, to pay all these suppliers. And my debt was $2 million. And I'm saying, how do I pay this debt? How do I pay? So we were in that situation, and we went to the seminar to find out how to get out of debt. We learned the process, and we applied it in our life, and we got out of debt. It took us 2 years to get out of debt. But friends, can I tell you, today we have no utang, we have no debt. And that's the best way to live. That you don't have any debt that you cannot pay. Alright? Let me ask you, do you remember those days? Do you remember those days? By the way, this is a cell phone, in case you wonder. That was like a car battery, as heavy as a car battery. Okay? And people would get these things just out of status symbol. And people are in debt today because they want to show others, may kaya ako. I have good status, you know. So they would get these cell phones. And then they also question, how many times have you changed your cell phone? How many times have you changed your cell phone? Sometimes cell phones become a status symbol. But now cell phones are not that much a status symbol anymore. And then the latest cell phone gadgets, I don't know if you've heard of this, hands-free. Hands-free cell phone gadget. It's very cheap, huh? It's being sold for sale, huh? Or else, if you want, there's the don't buy the fake. If you want, there's the Bluetooth also. The Bluetooth yun. Medyo masakit lang yan. It's sabit sa tenga mo. But this is the real Bluetooth. Okay. So, you know that you're in debt when? You know you're in debt when you can't pay bills as they come due. You can't pay bills. Or you start putting off payment on one bill in order to pay another. You know, you start juggling your bills around back and forth. You become worried about how you will pay your bills. At night, you're thinking about all these bills you need to pay. What else? You start looking for quick fixes to quickly pay off one bill out of the other. Quick ways. That's how you know that you're in debt. And so if you're in debt and you want to get out of debt, you need to find the best way. Marriage vows. Today, if you think about marriage vows, it says, I will love you in sickness and health, for richer or poorer, until what? Death do us part. That's the marriage vow before. But today they changed it. It says, I will love you in sickness and health, so long as you are rich and I'm not poor, until death do us part. Iba na. Iba na. So we're going to talk about putting debt to rest. You want to know how to put debt to rest? Alright, I will show you how to put debt to rest. You have to understand that debt is a spiritual problem. People don't associate debt with a spiritual problem. They think debt is a financial problem. But let me change your mind. It's not. It's a spiritual problem. You know why? Because you went ahead of God in buying something which you didn't ask God permission. Think about it. You were saying, this is my money, I will do with it whatever I want, and I want to buy this. And you buy it. And you never consulted God. You never went to God, God, should I buy this? Should I invest here? Whatever. No. You went ahead of God. You did not wait for God to provide you the cash or the ability to pay for it without going to debt. And that's what happened to us, to me. I was in this business. I went into buying all these sewing machines without asking God, thinking, this business is doing well. I know how to run this business. Therefore, I will invest the way I want. I did not consult God. I didn't pray about it. To the point where, in the end, I was wrong. And God showed me how wrong I was without consulting Him. And I had to pay the price. So debt is a spiritual problem. You need to attack it spiritually from the very beginning. How do you do that? Well, the very first thing you and I need to do is to confess, repent, and pray. We need to confess, repent, and pray. People don't do this, but they must do this. They must come before God and say, Lord, I'm sorry I'm in debt today because of my own selfishness, my own greediness, my covetousness. I want to get into this business. I want to get into this investment. I want to buy these things. And I don't have the ability, but I went into it thinking I could. Ask God for forgiveness. Confess, repent, and pray. Now this part of pray is important. You ask God, Lord, help me. Give me wisdom. What must I do to get out of debt? Give me wisdom. How can I get out of debt? We were in that situation, 2 million pesos. Okay? We faced our debt and we said, how do we get out? And so we prayed. And the Lord showed us we have to downsize. We have to really sacrifice. Humble ourselves. So the very first thing we did is we sold all our cars. We only kept one car. We moved to a small house. All the children stopped school. That's how bad it was. We stopped all the private school. They didn't even go to public school. They went to home school. And that became a blessing later on. And then we stopped eating in expensive restaurants. No more vacations. Our vacation was Tagaytay na lang. No more buying clothes and expensive things. Wala na, everything. My wife started having garage sales in the house. Everything we didn't need, we sold in the garage sale. What were we doing? We were sacrificing. As I said, it's easy to go into debt. It's hard to get out of debt. You need to take drastic action, friends. You cannot just take it one day at a time, go easy. No, you have to start immediately and start hard on yourself. So, everything we did was downsizing, sacrificing. Even the food we ate, just simple food lang. Wala nang expensive food. So, we asked for wisdom, and God gave us wisdom. And then I asked, Lord, can you give me ideas of other businesses I can do? What else can I do to get extra income? And likewise, Cindy was doing extra work, finding ways to add to our income. So that's the very first thing you do, okay? Next thing you do is you come up with you figure out what you owe. You come up with a debt list. On page 11 and 12, look at that, page 11 and 12. What do you see there? Page 11 is a debt list worksheet sample. Okay? It looks something like this. You put down on one side all the creditors. Who are those that you owe? And then you describe the item purchased. What did you purchase from them? And then the monthly payment. How much do you have to pay them every month? What is the balance as of this date? Magkano yung utang nyo? What is the payoff date? What is the interest rate that they're asking? And then what is the payment past due? If you have not been paying them, what is it that is past due? Okay? So you fill up this whole sheet. You fill up the whole worksheet. Now hopefully, it's only one page. For some of you, it might be more than 2 pages. I don't know. Okay? But fill up that entire page with all the information of your debt. That way, makikita nyo na in one page, ito yung total amount and piece of the total history of my utang. Okay? For example here, GX card, credit, mostly it's credit card. Okay? Monthly payment, 1,000, balance due 20,000. Payoff date forever. Why? Pag credit card, di ba forever? As long as you pay the minimum, forever yan eh. And then interest rate is 21%. Cash payment due. 3 months due already. Etc. So you have all of these here. Now, if this was your debt list, what would you pay first? What would you pay first?
21.
Look at this. What would you pay first? There are many methods you can use. You can pay off the most expensive one, the highest first, or you can pay the lowest first. I would encourage you to pay off this one first. Because the balance due is 3,000 pesos. The smallest amount. When you pay that off, automatically, this whole line is gone. So now you have, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, instead of 6, you now have 5. These 2 and these 3. So it reduces the number of creditors you have. And then the next one you pay off is which one? The one with the highest interest, 21%. So even if you pay the others, look at that anyway. So pay off this one as fast as you can. All right? So this is important. Today, if you're in debt, do you have a debt list? Do you know exactly who you owe, how much you owe, etc. for each person? That's the starting point. And that's what we did. We listed out all the debt and creditors, all the amounts we owed, etc. We made this list together. So with that, we go to the next one. Scratch that off. We go to the next one. You confess, repent, and pray. You figure out what you owe. Number 3 is you establish a repayment plan. Establish a repayment plan. Now, before you establish a repayment plan, you need to know your budget. You cannot establish a repayment plan if you don't have a personal budget. How much you earn and how much you spend. How much you have available to sustain your debt payment. And that's why I was telling you a while ago, the budget's very important, your personal budget. In your company, you have to have a budget, likewise, okay? So if this is a personal debt, in your personal financial statement, how much can you afford to pay every month? How much can you afford to pay your creditors? Establishing a repayment plan is based on that. So here's an example, okay? My creditor was United Distributors Incorporated, purchased sewing machines, and this all example, the amount owed is 35,000. The amount payment is 1.5 every month, 1.5 all the way down. Payments remaining, balance due until it's 0. What I did is I have to go to each of my creditors. After making this amount, I made this based on my okay? Based on my own budget. How much can I really afford to pay them? I went to every single one of my suppliers and creditors. I said, look, I owe you this much, but I cannot pay you. I cannot pay you that much every month. But what I can do is I can pay you this much, which is less, because that's what I can afford. Based on my own personal budget, this is what I can afford. It will not be the same amount, it'll be less, but it'll be a longer time, longer term payment. Listen to this. Most of your creditors, ang gusto nila is to be paid. They want to be paid, no matter what. They don't want you to run away. They won't want you to escape and to hide. That's the last thing they want. They want to know that you can pay them. And so I went to each one of them. I said, I cannot pay you, for example, 10,000 pesos. I can pay you 5,000, the most. They said, no. You owe me 10,000 every month. You owe me. But I cannot pay you. I can pay you 5 every month. And this is my schedule. I showed them my payment schedule. I can pay you 5,000 every month. That's the most I can afford. Alam nyo, they understood. They understood my plan. Because I came to them with a plan. Not just words, not just tears, because they will not listen to your tears. They will listen to your plan. And each one of them was willing to extend the terms at a lower rate, only because they were sure now that I had a plan to pay them. If you don't have a plan, it won't work. So one by one, I went to these people. If today you have a credit card debt, you need to sit down with the credit card bank and say, I'm in trouble. I cannot pay this amount that I've accumulated over the past month. And can you please stop my credit card? Can we settle? Can we negotiate? And sometimes, and I've heard stories, credit card companies are willing to cut the total amount in half. That's what you pay, the bottom half. They're willing to work with you. Believe it or not, they're willing to work with you rather than you running away and hiding and them trying to chase you. They're willing to work with you. So you must be willing to be honest, transparent, open, and humble to go see them and say, look, my situation today is very bad, but I need help. And this is what I can do. This conversation that you have with your creditor will make all the difference. It'll make all the difference. But you have to come with a clear plan, and you must be able to fulfill that plan. You must be able to keep your word in that plan. Don't, again, be negligible. Keep your word in that plan. Does that make sense? This, friends, is crystal clear, and this is the most important part. Because your creditors are dying to be paid. And you want to get out of that relationship. You want to fully pay them off. But you cannot pay them the amount that they want, but maybe a smaller amount at a longer period of time. And that's why it took us 2 years to finally pay off everyone. It took more time than we expected. But it can be done. It can be done. Most of the times your creditors will argue, they will negotiate, they'll get angry. But what can they do? This is all you can afford, and so that's what they will accept. Okay? And do this with your credit cards, because today the biggest debt is credit card. You need to find a way to stop the credit card interest from accumulating. Don't just keep quiet, don't just hold on to your credit card bills. Go and see the bank credit card representative and show them everything. This is where I am today, and I have to get out of this. Okay? Let's continue. So, after you establish a repayment plan, the fourth one is determine to stop the cause of debt. This is crucial. What was it that got you in debt in the first place? Whatever it was, you've got to stop it. Make it very clear.